Hello!
Hello, I'm Cathy.
I'm Rachel.
I'm Ola and welcome to Little Bird Book Club. Whee! And that's the full moon, by the way.
This is a full moon?
Yeah.
This is a full moon, and yesterday was the full moon. And in Cathy's little almanac book that she got for Christmas, it told us that the full moon is the wolf moon. Ow! You didn't know I was going to do that.
Should I howl? I don't know if I'm a howling person. All the howls.
So, we thought we would talk about everyone's favourite wolf man, PERRIN AYBARA!
Yeah!
By Moon. PERRIN is one of the three main Ta'Veren characters in Robert Jordan's The Wheel of Time, and his character is the wolf character. He can speak to wolves, he dreams and goes into what they call the wolf dream, and I just thought now was a great time to talk about him. So Cathy, I would like to know what your favourite PERRIN moment is from The Wheel of Time.
PERRIN was the first character I fell in love with in The Wheel of Time. So from very early days, like, I was invested in PERRIN. But I think my favourite PERRIN moment of all was when he rescues the two rivers in The Dark Rising, is that what it's called?
The Shadow Rising.
The Shadow Rising. I read the books one after another and they've all
blended in together.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
But that end sequence when he goes back and he like recruits all the farmers and everybody around them and creates a little army out of them that fends off the what the monster's called? Trollocs. Fends off the Trollocs and has to deal with White Cloaks at the same time, and he just I love him so much. He just handles it so well, and it's like, I think that's me at maximum PERRIN. Okay.
My favourite PERRIN moment, oh there's so many of them, because like you, PERRIN is the first character that I fell in love with.
Yeah.
He's so good in the first few books. And I mean, I enjoy his story in the later books as well. I know that some people don't, but I enjoy all of PERRIN. But I think one of my favourite moments is at the end of The Dragon Reborn, when so Faile grabs the hedgehog that is meant for Moiraine to trap her in the world of dreams and kill her, and Faile goes in and grabs it and like falls on the floor and everyone's really stressed, and PERRIN is told not to go and save her because there's more important things, but he goes into the room and he goes into the wolf dream. A Hopper says to him, "You're here too strongly. If you stay here this strongly, you'll die." And then PERRIN says, "If I don't save the falcon, I don't care." And I'm like, ah! Peak romance!
Yeah.
I think I love romance in books. I love it. And I think maybe that's why I do like PERRIN's story so much, because him and Faile is like one of the main love stories in Wheel of Time.
Yeah, and it's a great love story.
I agree.
And there's none of that, I don't know if I do like her or not. Like, they very quickly like, no, I don't really like you.
And obviously there's angst, and they're both teenagers, so things are going wrong and there's jealousy and things like that. But I think over the course of the series, they do mature and become a really strong couple. Another PERRIN Faile moment that I love is in The Shadow Rising, when he sends her away, and then so they've just got married, he sends her away to save her, and he's writing her a letter and he's thinking to himself, oh, I don't have the way with words that women love, and then he writes like some of those most romantic things you've ever read. I'm going to read them now.
Oh yeah.
Do you remember what they are?
No.
Okay. So bear in mind, PERRIN has just sent Faile away and he knows that she's going to be really angry with him for sending her out of danger. And he says, "I will not ask your forgiveness for what I did. I do not know if you could give it, but I will not ask. You are more precious to me than life. Never think I have abandoned you. When the sun shines on you, it is my smile. When you hear the breeze stir through the apple blossoms, it is my whisper that I love you. My love is yours forever."
Actual goosebumps.
I think there are lots of different ways that we could talk about PERRIN, but specifically today, because it is the wolf moon and focusing on the wolfy things. So I think PERRIN as a character, he struggles with identity in two ways. One of them is peace building versus violence, and how that ties in with the Tinkers, and then the other one is just the wolf dream in general and how he like accepts that part of himself overall. And I'm going to read another quote.
Okay.
He's speaking to Faile at this point. He says, "Sometimes, especially in the dream, I forget I'm a man, not a wolf. If one of these times I don't remember quickly enough, I'll lose hold. I'll be a wolf, in my head at least, a sort of half-wrong image of a wolf. There won't be anything of me left." And I just think this is something that Perrin struggles with for the whole series, and it's only really towards the end that he overcomes that and embraces himself fully. And there are 2 examples of other wolf brothers in the novel. One of them manages to balance his wolf side and human side. Do you know what his name is?
Elias?
Close enough. Elias.
Elias.
Yeah. The other one is someone that Perrin sees in, I think it's Dragon Reborn, when they're racing across the country. They're in a village and there's another wolf brother who's been locked in a barn because he can't handle the marrying of his wolf and human side. What's his name?
Oh, I don't know. He's only in it for one scene. That's so unfair.
Yeah, but Perrin thinks about him so much.
Yeah, he does.
He like haunts Perrin through the novel.
Yeah.
The fact that this is what he might become.
Yes.
He's called Gnome.
Gnome.
What a great name, Gnome.
Yeah. But I guess neither of those 2 like wolf characters are quite what Perrin wants to become. Because Elias isn't really among people that much, and he avoids them as much as possible, and then the other one is just crazy.
Yeah. So both of these wolf characters are isolated from humanity as a whole, and Perrin loves people.
Yeah.
He has so many great relationships with the people in Emond's Field. He's got Fail. He's got his best mates, Rand and Matt.
Yeah. He is very attuned to the senses, isn't he?
Yeah, he's very attuned to the senses. And I think that his wolf senses do hamper his relationship with people, because he doesn't... Nobody knows that he can smell their emotions. So, you know?
But I really love that, like smelling how people are feeling. I just know it's such a cool insight into characters, because they might be saying one thing and looking one thing, and Perrin knows, oh no, that person's actually terrified. You know?
Yeah. Most of Perrin's struggle with these aspects of wolfhood and humanity happen internally, and I think that's a difficult thing to portray on screen, which I think is why they've made some of the changes that they've made to Perrin's storyline in the show. But we're not talking about the show today, we're talking about books.
The books are more important.
The books are more important, you're so right. Exactly. There's so much more in them, and you can you can make the scenes in your head. Yeah! But I was looking on the Wheel of Time wiki before we made this video, because I was thinking Perrin, Thor, Norse mythology, etc, etc. But when I was looking on the Wheel of Time wiki, there's some Slavic mythology. There's a god called Perun, or a figure called Perun, who is the god of war and battles and bulls. And I don't know, do you know what Perrin's wolf name is?
Young Bull.
Young Bull.
I remember the name thing.
Hey, welcome Cathy. You remembered Elias. Perun also has a hammer called Mjolnir, which is similar to Mjolnir, which is Thor's hammer. I don't think that's how you say Thor's hammer's name. And Perrin gets a hammer in the book called
But that's such a good sequence.
Isn't it great? Yeah. And in Slavic mythology, Perun is often portrayed as the enemy of someone called Veles, who is the god of wolves, the wolf king, and he has like a brood of wolves. Robert Jordan is just a mastermind of world building. Like, he took these inspirations and these warring gods, he combined them into the same character, and I think that's...
And put them in one person that
put them in one person who is warring against himself. Isn't that amazing?
That is really cool.
And on a similar vein to that, one of Perrin's main enemies in the book is...
the white cloak guy.
No.
Not him?
Not him. he's
Luke.
Yes, Luke Slayer.
Yeah. The Luke
Luke Slayer, who is a person who is... So when Perrin goes into the wolf dream, he is still himself, or he's still trying to be himself. He's trying to keep a hold of himself. And Luke and Slayer are... they're never themselves. They can never be themselves in... So Slayer can never be himself in the real world, and Luke can never be himself in the wolf dream. And I just think that's a really interesting, like, comparison to Perrin, who is struggling with that identity himself. Do you know what I mean?
I do know. Do you know, I think reading it, I never quite understood what was going on with Luke. And so now you say it like that, I'm like, oh, I probably would have got more out of it if I'd understood that.
Well, I mean, I'm only saying that having looked at the wiki and seeing that stuff about Perun and Veles. But yeah, so Luke and Slayer meet in the Blight, and they're like, the two souls are put into the same body, and then it's Slayer in the dream world and Luke in the real world. I don't... Not Slayer, Isam. That's his real name. Yeah.
Okay. Because I think I did lose what was going on with Luke and Slayer.
Yeah.
I felt like when Luke was there in The Shadow Rising, he was a really interesting, unnerving antagonist because I didn't quite get what's going on with him, and then
he's like Gaston, isn't he?
Yeah, he is like Gaston. And then when he's like Slayer in the Dream World, it was kind of cool, but I never found him that much of an interesting threat on that side of things, because he's basically like a monster hunting down things, and a monster, and I just never felt like I was particularly invested in finding out why is he doing what he's doing. He's just like killing stuff. Fair enough. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I do know what you mean, and I agree. Like, but I just thought it was interesting that there's this person that can never be themselves fully because there are two persons in the same body, versus Perrin, who is always himself fully and is struggling with balancing that out. I just thought it was
that is interesting. I wish I'd done that. We should be more perceptive when I was reading it.
No, but there's so much in these books. You're never going to catch them all on your first read. Towards the end of the Wheel of Time series, Perrin teams up with some Sean-Chan armies to rescue Fire when she's captured, and one of these, I think I'm putting this in the right context. One of their generals, Ty Lee, says something to Perrin about one of the Sean-Chan prophecies of the dragon, which is when the Wolf King carries the hammer, the end days are known. So starting in the beginning of the series, we have Perrin in book 1 having the axe and the hammer and not knowing which to pick, which side of himself to embrace. And this is something that's introduced so early on, and it's one of the main prophecies, well, not one of the main prophecies, but it's a prophecy that harkens to the end of things.
Yeah.
Like, we are now, once Perrin has that hammer, once Perrin makes that forged hammer, we are in the end run, the end game, it's on. And I just think it's just, I love that Perrin is so integral to the plot. I love him.
And even that choice is integral, because I think he also mirrors Rand's journey in that, because like the choice between the axe and the hammer, at first Perrin kind of thinks it's a choice between like something that makes and something that destroys. And I think at the end, if I remember rightly, when he makes his war hammer, he's kind of thinking, this can also make, it does destroy and it does fight and it is dangerous, but it's not only for that, it can make something good. And Rand almost has that same battle too, because like for the men in this world, any kind of magical power means they're going to destroy everything they love. And Rand has to embrace of that, I have this destructive power, but I can also have a creative power too. So I think they're really good mirror images of one another.
And there's also, obviously Rand is an Aielman, or he has Aiel heritage. I suppose he's not really an Aielman because he's not raised in there. But one of their things is that they never use swords because a sword is only ever a weapon, and the spears are more versatile. They can be used to hunt and I don't know what else spears do, but the Aiel
fish.
Fish. Thank you. That's hunting. It's just hunting fish in water. But yeah, I love that you've brought that parallel. I think when I think about it, Perrin is my favourite character. And I love Nynaeve and I love Matt. Well, I love all of them, but I think Perrin is just really special to me. Yeah,
I think Perrin is the one who I'd want to be friends with in real life, and he's the one that I really rooted for. I think maybe because even though he has this huge war with himself, I think when he arrives on page, he seems to also be the most secure in himself in the early books. Yeah, and he doesn't have like Matt's wanderlust or.
He just wants a simple life.
He just wants a simple life, and I relate.
Because he's such a big guy, he's had to be so careful and very deliberate in all of his actions and words, which I think, at the beginning of the novels, he is the most secure of the three boys, isn't he?
Yeah, I forgot about that. I love that so much, the idea that you've got this quite intimidating form of a man who has learned very early on, like, because I'm so big and strong, I have to be careful because people and things around me are precious and I don't want to hurt them. Oh, how could you not love this guy?
I'm gonna cry! I love him so much!
But again, praise to Robert Jordan for that, because he makes such interesting characters that don't follow. They go, I think, beyond the normal character struggles that you expect people to deal with. I don't think I've ever read anyone else saying, I'm a really big guy and I have to be careful with people, and that be such a huge part of their character. It's so good. It's so good.
Anyway, we've kind of wandered off the wolf topic there, so let's bring it back on track. Let's bring it back on track with a game of What's That? There are 32 named wolves in the Wheel of Time. How many of them can you name? I'll be impressed if you get 3. I'd be impressed if I got 3, to be honest.
Okay, hang on.
One's a given. We've already mentioned
we've got a Hopper.
We've got Hopper.
And Young Bull.
Young Bull doesn't count. He's in a different section.
There's a female one.
Yes.
And I want to say it's something to do with the wind, but...
No.
No.
It's something to do with the way that light reflects on water.
Oh.
That's a bit of a hint.
Dapple?
Yeah! And I think, this one I think is Dapple's mate, who's doesn't really like Perrin. You might not get this one. Okay. I think you've reached your limit.
Yeah, I'm really sorry. Was there one something to do with like the smell of fire or smoke?
There is one called Smoke.
Smoke, there you go.
There we go, Cathy got
Smoke.
3. Well done.
What were some of the others, just out of curiosity?
Burn, Cold Water, Leaf Hunter, Rabbit Nose, Thunder Mist, that's a cool one.
Thunder Mist.
2 Moons, White Eyes, Wildfire, Winter Dawn, that's a nice one.
Yeah.
Among others. This game has 3 parts. So that's the first part.
Oh no!
The second part, you've already said that we know that Perrin's wolf name is Young Bull. Do you know what Elias's wolf name is?
Something about legs.
No. You're thinking of Aragorn's
I am Longshanks,
You're on the right lines though, and he has a really big knife.
Sharp, long tooth.
Long tooth!
Long tooth!
Yeah!
They got long shanks, long tooth, that was somewhere.
So earlier you said that Gnome only appears in one book. And Perrin thinks about him a lot, and Perrin also meets him later on in the wolf dream in his wolf form. Do you know what his name is? Begins with a B.
No.
It's about being free.
Boundless?
Yeah! High five! Okay, that's part 2. The last part is, so the wolf tongue, the wolf sent images of like, and feelings about things. So I have a list of wolf phrases that translate to a human phrase.
Oh, this sounds fun.
Let's see if you can get them. So, hard-footed forelegs.
Horse.
Yeah! Small thorny back.
Hedgehog.
Not quite.
Porcupine.
Yeah. Heart fang.
A sword or a knife?
This is a specific Wheel of Time word.
Heart fang. The magics?
No.
No, I don't know.
Balsamum. Shadow brothers.
Wolves. No?
This is a specific Wheel of Time word. They are wolves, but they're not quite wolves.
Trollocs?
No. Dark hounds.
Dark hounds.
This next one is a Wheel of Time word. Not dead.
Mithandrel?
No.
No. That's not what they're called.
What's that?
I don't know. What are the tall...
Midral?
Midral.
No, it's not that. It's the Grey Men. Do you know what the Grey Men are?
The Grey are the assassins.
Yeah.
That's what an assassin does.
Yeah. The next one, Neverborn.
That sounds
See the
really
Wheel of
sad.
Time word.
Neverborn. I don't know.
You just tried to say it.
What was it? I want to
Do you remember what it was?
Mirand.
I don't know.
What are they called?
Myrddraal.
Myrddraal.
I wasn't listening.
I think I would call him Mirandrals for the entire book.
Fair enough. The next one's easy. 2 legs.
Humans.
Yeah. Twisted ones. This is a Wheel of Time word.
The Forsaken.
No, one of the
You're
monsters.
bad at Wheel of Time words.
Trolloc.
Yeah! And the last one. This one's a bit of a mouthful. 2-legged she's who touch the wind that moves the sun and coal fire.
Ice attack. It's really a mouthful. It mustn't come across so much. That was fun and humiliating. I hope you enjoyed our Perrin talk there. If Perrin is not your favourite Wheel of Time character, explain yourselves in the comments. We will try not to be too judgmental. No, I'm kidding. You can have other favourite characters. It is allowed.
And let's be honest, the cast of Wheel of Time characters is phenomenal.
Yes.
Any favourite is a good favourite.
Yeah, and maybe in the future we'll return and talk about other characters too, because...
And other aspects of Perrin's character.
Yeah, we can keep going on Perrin. Thanks so much for watching. Next week we're doing something a little bit different.
Ooh.
We'll have a video out on Friday and on Saturday, and they're going to be January reading diaries for Rachel and myself. So you'll get a little snippet of what Rachel and I have been up to in the bookish world for January. Yeah, cool. So see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Mummy, you have fluff in your hair.
Oh. Thanks, Lola. Thank you, Rachel. Thanks for my jacket.
Let's be real.
Wolves. Wolves.
Oh, there's just saying wolves, wolves, wolves over the top of us.
Also, I'm quite excited for a later segment of this video because you couldn't even remember the word trolling.